What is up guys, welcome to episode number 5 of Tech Hub. In this episode I'll be showing you how to live stream using OBS Studio software. This has been my most requested topic, but I also chose this topic because I'd love to see the YouTube drummer community do more live streaming. If you're anything like me, I've never been on a stage. YouTube is my stage. I've gone live about 11 times now. Over the space of a year. I absolutely love it. It's a great way to engage with your audience and it's a lot of fun to do. First of all, I'm going to show you how to get OBS Studio, which is free, and how to set it up. So first of all, of course, you need to go to the OBS Studio website. The link is below in the video description. It's available for Windows and Mac and Linux. I'm using an iMac, so I'll be showing you the Mac version today. However, the functionality should all pretty much be the same. So very simply, click on the download, allow it, download it. It's completely free and it's a great piece of open source software. So once you open it up, this is what it looks like. Now this is just like a mini production suite, okay? So on the left here, you create scenes, okay? Very simple to create scenes. All you do is click the plus sign and you name it. Now I'm actually going to demonstrate and I'm actually going to go live today to show you how this works. So the first thing I'm going to do, I have created a countdown, which I like to do at the start of my streams. It builds some anticipation and also it gives you time to make sure everything's working, okay? So I've done a Tech Hub countdown screen, okay? So I'm going to call this Tech Hub countdown. Here we are, and you'll see it on the left. Now it's completely blank, of course, so what you want to do is add the sources of what you want them to see on this canvas. So if that's a camera, if it's a video, and then you'll add the audio. Now I've created a file, so I'm going to go here to the sources and I'm going to add a media source, and this is Tech Hub countdown. I'm going to choose the file, and this is the countdown that I created. You can loop videos. I'm not going to loop this one. It will restart playback when you come out of the resource. That's what I want, and I don't want it to show anything when it comes to an end. So here it is. This is the countdown I created. So when I start my live stream, that's what I'm going to start with. Okay. Now I'm also going to add music to this. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go to media source, and this is going to be Tech Hub music. If I can find it, background music. I don't want it to loop, although you could do. I like to always play music when I am streaming, even if it's just quiet. And there we go. So here we have it. So the music is playing. Now if you want to hear playback of any of your sources, you have to tell it. Okay, so where I showed you in the settings here, if you go to audio, my monitoring device. So I've got it when I'm using my AirPods. I only do that when I'm talking. I actually have a different setup, which I'll show you later for my actual live streaming performance on the drums. I want to hear what's being played through my AirPods. So whatever device you want to hear, you can put here, okay? Now, I still can't hear it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to right click the cog. I'm going to go to advanced audio properties. This will show you everything that has an audio source, okay? I want to hear the music. So I'm going to click on monitor and output. Now I can hear the music, okay? Now as you can see, you don't want stuff going into the red, you want it coming down a bit. So here that is there. Here we go. This is the Tech Hub countdown. The music is playing. And that's what I'm going to start with. Now, when I'm actually going to be talking on the screen, I want to create another scene. So I'm going to call this Tech Hub camera. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to add a source, and again, just like using a video editing software like iMovie or Final Cut Pro, I'm going to layer it. So the stuff on the bottom is in the background and the stuff you put above it will show in that order. Okay, keep that in mind. So the first thing I'm going to do, I also created a Tech Hub video logo that I will get to loop. Okay, this is the logo. I'm going to tell it to loop. So this is going to be constantly going in the background. So it's going to just keep on playing it. Now, the other thing I want to do here, and this is a really good thing about OBS, is once you set it up, you can use it in a different scene. So I'm going to use this, which I've already set up. I use it on my drum radar. I've used it in this episode as well. Now I'm going to use this. As you can see, it's all here. I've already set this up, and this is where you can group things together. So I've got a shadow in the background, then I've got the webcam. I've applied a filter. I'm not going to go into that. The way I learned about OBS, there's loads of video on YouTube. I watched someone's video on how to create this circle with a shadow, and but I want to use this source in the scene I've just created. So I'm just going to right click on it and click copy. I'm going to put it where I want it. I want it in this one, so I'm going to right click in here and I'm going to duplicate it. There we are. It's there now. Now it's a bit big, so let me change the size. Here we go. Now there's several ways you can change the size. You can do the long-winded way, which I was just doing there, or you can right click on it and go to transform, and you can change some sizes here. Here we go. Now where should I go? Let me go in the bottom right. So that's how I'm going to speak to everybody today. So it's going to be a quick demonstration. We'll see who comes on. Now, like I said, I do like background music whenever I am talking, just to fill that silence. So I'm going to add here a media source, but the one I already created, look, is there. So you can choose your existing sources that you've already set up to put somewhere else very quickly. So there it is there, background music. Now, I am going to be using this later. Now, there's one thing to note, because I've got it set up on the countdown, as well as here, it will keep on playing that same thing, okay? So it won't restart it. So those are my sources, and I'm pretty much good to go. Now that's an example of how to set up a scene. Just to show you other scenes I've set up. When I actually go live, I've got my splash screen, which has no sound or anything. I literally leave this, so before I do my countdown, it's just there. It's also a good test to see if my streaming is working. I then have a countdown, which I go to. Again, this is just a video source. That's all it is. Now I also have my mixer, which I'll tell you about when I go into the equipment that I use, set up as a source. So here it is here. And you can control, again, all of these things. I then have this one, which is the next scene I cut to. I start talking to people without any music or anything, it's just me. Then I like to cut to a commercial break when I advertise anything that I'm gonna do. Again, this is just a video. This is my main source that I do when I am live streaming. So again, you can see all of my sources. There's my mixer, which I'll tell you more about later, but ultimately I've got a microphone hooked up to that. I've got my drum kit hooked up to that. I play background music using the Bluetooth on my phone, which connects to my drums, and I can control that on my phone here. So, you know, like I said, I don't like silence in the background, so I like to play music, and that goes there. You can also add things like this. That is just a green screen hand, and just like video editing software, you can use a keyer to get rid of the green screen, and I just make that appear. This is my Epic banner for my Epic performances. Live, this and these logos here, that's on a loop, and that's just recorded over a green screen. I fitted it here and I got it on a loop, so it just constantly plays. Okay, I then got my camera, and again, if I wanted the audio from that camera, you need to add that as a separate audio mixer, but I either use my AirPods or my mixer depending on what I'm doing. This is my drum camera. The cameras aren't on at the moment, but I literally have my above camera, my 2 GoPros, and as you can see from this, that's what it looks like. So again, I've just positioned those. So just like in video editing software, you can crop stuff, you can move stuff, and that's how. So I've just rearranged these so it looks like my 3-camera setup on my drum covers. I then have an end video. Again, my music will play. As you can see, the mixer is there, so the music that I'm playing in the background will just play. I can say my farewells as well.
In this section, I'm going to show you the settings that I use for my OBS Studio software to be able to stream in 1080p.
Okay, now I'm going to run through the settings for the streaming. So you just click settings. Now, a lot of these I can't explain why, but after researching this program and watching lots of guides, and there's some great guides on YouTube, these are the settings that work for me. Now, I'm going to be streaming at 1080p at 30 frames per second. Anything extra is just overkill. Yes, a lot of my devices can do 4K. I don't think it's necessary to stream in 4K, so all this is for 1080p, okay? So under stream, we're going to come back to this later when we do set up, but I only live stream to YouTube now. I have tried on Facebook, it's very easy to do. However, Facebook with their copyright laws, as soon as it detects copyrighted music, it stopped the stream, so I will always use YouTube. So output, very simply, and change it to advanced under streaming, one audio jack, encoder, X24 there. I want to keep 1920 by 1080 for everything. The rate control is CBR, the bit rate is 6000, keyframe is 2, CPU usage ultra fast, just like that. Audio, again, audio bit rate always set to 128. Under audio, that's my sample rate, channel is stereo. Desktop audio, which I haven't used a lot, but you can kind of say, right, when I'm recording my desktop, this is the audio source that I want to go with it, okay? Meters here, decay is fast, peak meter, sample peak. This is where you can change your monitoring device, so if I want to hear playback, it's on my AirPod Pros. Video, again, for 1080p, you want 1920 by 1080. I keep the aspect ratio 16.9. Downscale filter is Langsos. Sharpen scaling 36 apples. Common frames per second is 30 frames per second, okay? Under advanced, I have color format MV12, color space 709, partial. Again, if you want the same as my output, take a look at this. But like I said, there's lots of YouTube videos that tell you how to do this.
So moving on to the next part, which is all about the equipment that I use when I go live streaming. Here are the details.
Next, I'm going to tell you about the equipment I use for my live streaming. So my audio source is this Behringer Q502 USB. It's a USB mixer. So very simply, my Roland TD17 module plugs into this. I then have a microphone which plugs into it, which is the XLR lavalier microphone, the Synco LAV S6R. That plugs into the mixer at the same time, and that is then plugged into my iMac using a USB. I then add that mixer, as I've shown you, as a source, and that way I know they can hear me on the microphone that I'm wearing, as well as my kit. Now, a top tip for you, especially when it comes to electronic kits, remember to turn your microphone off before you start playing. If you leave the microphone on, all you're going to hear, well, you will hear the drums, of course, because that's also going through the mixer, but you're also going to hear you hitting the pad from the physical sound of the hitting, so make sure you turn your microphone off. So I have it next to my drum kit, so I can literally turn my microphone off before I play. And again, when you stop playing, make sure you turn it back on so people can hear you. Of course, I can control the volume of that mixer, but ultimately I leave it in the same place and then just change the volume of my module on the mixer or on the module itself, and the microphone as well. As for my video, I have 2 GoPros Hero 7 setup, and an overcam, just an action camera. Now the action camera is plugged in via USB, so again I just use USB extenders plugged into my iMac. I add that as a source. As for the GoPros, the next generation, so the 8 Pluses, you can actually plug in via USB and use them as webcams. However, mine, the Hero 7, you cannot connect it via USB. So I purchased a very cheap video catcher USB, which basically on one end of it has a HDMI port, plugs into the USB. Then you get a micro HDMI, which can plug into the GoPro. That plugs in there and then plugs into this HDMI USB, and it sends the video signal via HDMI to USB, where I can add that as a source in OBS. So that's how I create my audio and my video for my live streaming.
Now OBS is all set up and ready to go. This is how to go live using YouTube, and I'm going to show you some settings and the best way to do this.
Okay, so now OBS is all set up, the settings are there, the sources are there. I'm going to show you how to stream on YouTube. So if you go to Studio, you're going to see at the top, Create, Go Live. Now you can schedule streams, or you can just go live straight away. So I'm just going to click on Stream. Now first, I'm going to edit my title. So let's call it Tech Hub Live Stream Demonstration. Now I'm not actually going to publish this after. This is purely for this demonstration video. So here, just like uploading a normal video, you set a title, you set a description. This is just the pre-stuff I've got. I may as well leave it there. It's not going to be published after anyway. You then customization, so live chat if you do want to interact with the audience, and I highly recommend you do. Live chat replay if you want the replay of that chat to show after you publish it. So because remember, and this is the thing to remember with live streaming, once you get going, you might only have 2 or 3 people attending, but it's still content for your channel. So regardless of how many people watch it live, people are still going to watch it after. Anyway, by clicking that one, they can also see the chat replay that you did. Participant, you can set it to subscribers only that can see it or view it, but I put anyone. Slow mode, you can slow down the chat box. I mean, if you've got like 10,000 subs, you might want to do that. With lower sub numbers, you know, I've not had an issue with it, but you can slow down the chat if you want to do it. So that is the details. So I'm going to click save. Now, here is some important stuff, okay? So you can have a default stream key. This will just do default settings. Now I've set up my own, drums by Ash Wells. But ultimately I've changed settings there so it can stream at 1080p. Here is the stream key we'll come to in a minute. This is the URL of the stream. Now stream latency, okay? There will always be a delay. Okay, now what I recommend is if you're going to stick to 1080p, don't worry about the quality so much. It will still look great, and I'm really happy with the quality of my streaming. I have an ultra low latency. This will mean that the delay of what you're putting out is only until it's seen is about 5 seconds, which sure can be frustrating if you're asking questions and you're relying on the chat box. However, 5 seconds is not too bad. With low latency, it's closer to 10 seconds. With normal latency, it's closer to 15. So always have it on ultra low. Enable DVR, which means it's going to record the entire thing and then republish it, including the chat replay. 360 video, it's not. Closed caption, no. Unlist live replay, one stream ends. I always turn this on, because even if I am going to publish it after, I still want to edit the title. You can edit the settings and such. So I don't want it to be listed as soon as it ends. I want to change it afterwards. Okay, let's go live. So to go live, you're going to go back to OBS, opening up settings, go to stream. So you've got YouTube here, primary YouTube. I never connect my account, okay? I don't know how it works. What I do is I use the stream key. Just click Use Stream Key Advanced. This stream key is what you need. Just click copy and keep it a secret as well. I'm going to paste it here. Click OK. That tells it to communicate to that server. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to click Start Streaming. Okay. This will then send the signal to that stream key and you will see it come up. Here we go. And we are live, ladies and gentlemen. Now they can't hear me, as you can see. There's no audio here. It's just the screen they can see. Here we go. Let's see who's about. So at the start of my streams, I like to give it a minute or two. If I'm going live at 7 p.m, I'll start this process at about 6:53. I'll keep this screen on for a couple minutes. Now the countdown I usually do is for 5 minutes. So at 5:02, I'll load my countdown up and then start the show. So we've done a minute countdown. So I'm just going to leave this for a bit. This will tell you how many concurrent viewers, so how many people are watching live and they're staying on. Also the chat rate, and this is the chat box here, and this is how I have it set up. I have OBS here and this page here, so I can see the chat box and see my output here. That will just show how many people have viewed it. So as soon as it goes live, they might not be watching it live, but they can still click it and it will just play it from the beginning. Okay. So even though your concurrent viewers might be 0 as we're at, or 1, doesn't mean you're not getting more viewers. It's just how many current people are up to date and watching it literally live. So you can interact with them. Hi, who is here? This is a demonstration for my Tech Hub episode on how to live stream. Now let's start the countdown. So very simply, just to show you a couple of points here. Now you can just click on the scene that you want to go to. As soon as you click a scene here, it goes live. Now if you want to check stuff out, there's studio mode. So this shows you what is currently being shown, and if, for example, I'm going to go to this one, but look, it gives you a preview if you click studio. So until you click transition, it won't move across. Okay. But that's quite handy if you need to set something up. I know going live, I have actually got to send a photo. I will quickly get that photo in place using Studio and then switch to it. I don't use it a lot though. You take Studio. Now let's start the countdown. Here we go. So I can hear that the music's playing. The countdown is on. Now keep your eye on this. When that reaches 0, it's going to stop playing and not play anything. So I know I need to switch my source manually. Okay, now as you can see, there is a delay. That's on 40 seconds. That's on 44, 43. So it's about a 3 or 4 second delay. But do not get too hemmed up on what you're outputting here. This is the live feed here. So pay attention to your live feed, not the delay. Concentrate on OBS in a nutshell. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so I am live. Let me turn the music on. I'm going to turn it down. So it is literally background music. Okay. Now, I don't think anyone's here. So if you want to copy this link, just click share, copy the link. Now I am just gonna hit some people up to see if I can get somebody on to show you how the chatbot works. Again, just to show you some key stuff here, it says it's got an excellent connection. You can see on OBS as well, that's green. Anyway, so when I do usually go live, I schedule it. I then put it on social media. Hey, Virtual Drummer, my man! He's on. Thank you, sir. How are you doing, buddy? Say hello to Tech Hub Universe. Say Virtual Drummer. So Sasha is here. You are a godsend. I've been waiting, 5 minutes for somebody to join. I was explaining how my audience tends to be in America, so they're not even awake yet. Sasha, you're a man. So I can reply to Sasha in the box. obviously, if you are talking and interacting, hey, Mike Hughes here as well. Thank you very much, Mike. Yes, so this is great. So this is where you can interact with them. Obviously, when you say something, because of that delay, you're going to have to wait a few seconds for their response. So it's great. So do I use the chat box once I'm live? I mean, I tend to type to people when the countdown's going on, but once I'm live and I'm talking, I don't. Yeah, no swearing. That's right, Sasha. Thank you very much, sir. There is a risk of getting spammers on here. I've had spammers, you know, the usual spam you get with like porn websites. I've had that happen once during a live stream. Now, when I go and perform on my kit, of course, I'm away from the chat box. So you can just ask people to police that with you. But if there's a comment you don't like, just click here and click remove, and you might also want to report it. If you report it, it will remove it too. So this is great. So Mike and Sasha, I am recording my Tech Hub episode on how to live stream. I really hope you guys will live stream. This is why I'm doing it. So just let me know, guys, are you up for doing some live streaming once you work out how to do it? Again, there's that 5-second delay of me saying it and them seeing it, so you've got to wait for their answer. If this, but as we can see, we've got 2 concurrent viewers, which is Virtual Drummer and Mike. That's a good question. Thank you very much, Sasha. So there is a sub requirement. I think it's 1,000 for you to go live on the app. However, you can go live on YouTube with no minimum subscribers if it's through desktop software, so using OBS or actually YouTube itself, but not through the app. So that is a good point. Thank you very much, Sasha. Anyways, that's about it. So thank you everybody that has come on. It took a while to get people awake and on here. So I appreciate you coming on for the sake of the demonstration. So I'm going to continue with my Tech Hub episode recording, but I appreciate you guys. So see you all later. God bless. So I'm going to click end stream, and it's ended. And here you want to click stop streaming. Done. And it's that simple. Now if you click next on here, this is it here. This is what streamed. It's 4 views, 3 peak concurrents, watch time 6 minutes, chat rate, average view duration, and so we were live for 14 minutes now. I cut a lot of that out for the sake of the episode. So let's edit it in Studio. This is where, of course, you can go in and edit it. So just like a normal video. So details, you can change the thumbnail. You can change the title, just like all these controls are in just a normal YouTube video, which you guys already do. There's the live chat replay. You can turn it off. Editor, I've never used this, but you can go in and chop stuff out. It's literally, but however, and this is the negative side of YouTube, once you've done it, it will process. Now you can't edit anything until it processes the file, okay? Now it can take up to 24 hours for that to happen. My average show is about half an hour when I do live stream. It's about 12 to 15 hours later till it's actually processed the whole thing. That is it here, look. This is the one that we just did. So that is actually an old thumbnail, which is the last time I went live, which is why it's kept that setting, okay? As you can see, it's unlisted. So you can, just like a normal YouTube video, go in where we can change the thumbnail. So I'm just going to put it as a Tech Hub logo. You can add it to a playlist. All those settings you would normally change for a normal video. Okay, that's the link to it. You can change it to public here. Now lastly, what I do want to show you, to download that now, once it's finished processing, the download is there. So I'm going to download it. Now it can be a bit slow, look, even though it's the might of Google, it's downloading very, very slowly. I don't know why, there's nothing you can do about it. I've got a gigabyte connection. and it still takes forever. So that's just how much bandwidth they're giving you to download it. Anyway, so be patient, it is downloading. Now, as for scheduling posts, it's much the same. Go to create, go to go live. Here, I'm going to schedule a stream. Now you can reuse other settings. So the last time I scheduled one was for my last Epic series, or you can create new, where again, you can create the title, the description, the thumbnail, add it to a playlist, all of those normal things for a normal YouTube video. Let me just skip past the screen to show you. Customization again, there's all those settings, live chat replay, the same settings we had before. Now, you want to do it as public, and then you set the date and the time that you want to stream. Once you've done that, now I'm going to click it as unlisted so I can show you what happens. Okay, so let's set it for today in about an hour. Done. Now, if we go back, that's the upcoming one. Here it is here. So once you're ready and it's approaching the time you're going to go live, just click into it, and the exact same screen that we had before, it comes up. So fundamentally, all it's doing is announcing, you're scheduling a stream and you're announcing, this is when I'm going to go live. Boom, and you go wild.
So that's the end of the episode. I hope you found it informative, and I really hope to see a lot of you guys live streaming a lot more. If you've got any questions at all, of course, you can hit me up on the socials. So that's Drums by Ash Wells on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. You can also send me an email as well, which is drumsbyashwells@icloud.com. The question that cropped up during the episode from Sasha of Virtual Drummer was the sub requirement to be able to go live stream. Now, YouTube has just made a change where you need a minimum of 100 subscribers to now go live. So you don't need to, I think it used to be about 1,000 subs to be able to go live, particularly using the app. However, I don't think there is a minimum requirement to go live using software like OBS. If there is a restriction, it seems that it's only 100 subs now, and that change is coming over the next few weeks. If any of you do go live, please do let me know. I'd love to attend it and see you guys put this into practice. And I will see you on the next episode of Tech Hub. You are epic.